What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys a first live reaction to a Kengan Omega chapter, chapter 183. Entitled apparently 2 Eliminated, and not as in 2 with the double O, but 2 as in the number 2. 2 Eliminated. Interesting, very interesting. Now, this video, of course, is coming up very late today. The chapter, I'm still getting it out here by the end of the day. But the reason for that is just really quick, is that I was mulling over reading the chapter. And the reason I'm doing a live reaction is because I've just had a bit of a lull day. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens. It is Wednesday. They call that hump day for a reason, I guess. This day has sort of taken toll. Getting out of my own way today to get anything done. Like, I've been doing the bare minimum required of me for the day and just hoping that the day can be over, sort of idea, right? So as a result, I hummed and hawed about reading this chapter when it came out, once I was done with, you know, my other stuff, and I kept putting it off, and finally I just said, you know what, why don't I just do a live reaction? And because here's the thing, even if I'm in a bit of a you know, sort of mood, nobody's gonna die this chapter. This is an interim chapter. The first round of the tournament, the Berserker Bowl, is over. So, I mean, nobody's going to go Super Saiyan 62. The One Piece isn't going to be found. Nobody's going to die, you know. Nobody's going to get fucked. Nobody's going to get married. I mean, maybe. But anyways, yeah, see, nothing major that's going to be like, okay, because of my mood, I'm not going to be able to fully enjoy the chapter. I don't think anything super crazy is going to happen. And maybe, if there is something, if this is the chapter of Kengan Omega that everyone will talk about and say, wow, chapter 183 was the turning point, well, maybe that'll pull me out of a little bit of my sort of downer mood tonight. Who knows? So, anyways, with that being said, sorry to waste all your guys' time with my bullshit. Let's move on to chapter 183, 2 Eliminated. So page 1, we have the illegally occupied sector, aka the inside. Of course, the illegally. Sort of reminds me, I just recently was in the background, had the 2014 Godzilla movie on. I like it. People didn't like that Bryan Cranston died halfway through. Spoilers. But I actually really like the new MonsterVerse. I like these Godzilla movies, so... but it sort of reminded me of that. It's like the quarantine zone. That's a false. There's no radiation here. You know, that kind of idea. It's illegally occupied. And nobody does anything really about it. And this is the Hachio ward. Alright? And we're seeing... Okay, we're seeing the place. It looks pretty run down, pretty dark. And welcome. Oh, it's Zaiyan. Zaijun's brother. The asshole. Right, okay. Head of the worm. Okay. Once again, and... Alright. Whether you guys like the worm plotline, which once again, maybe week to week, now that I am week to week, I don't really mind the worm plotlines. Are they well written? Not really, but I don't have the same level of memery and, what do you want to call it? The same level of, like aggression or antagonism towards the worm plotline. The worm plotline doesn't bother me as much because I was binge reading it, right? So there is that. But I will say, him smoking, literally the douchebag way to smoke, the douchebag way to smoke. The thing is, it's the elitist douchebag way to smoke when you're a dude, but when you're a woman with the big titties, it's like the ultimate hello, how you doing sort of look. And in a lot of mangas, you'll see a lot of the badass, beloved female characters smoke one of these damn things. One of the long-necked, friggin' the pretentious smoking pipes. I don't actually know what they're called, not in English nor Japanese, but yeah. So, but because he's a dude doing it. And other than the XXX Holic guy, other than him being the one exception, never met a character who smoked one of those who wasn't a douchebag. So, interesting. Okay, we have that guy. And then, oh, wait a minute now. Oh, we got the last of the clones here. Gilbert Wu and Wilhelm Wu. Willem Wu, because it's not William, it's Willem. Willamwu. Okay. All right. Cool. So this is the inside, huh? Pretty neat place. And all right, wait a minute. The last Nico, Tokita Nico. Well, Tiger Nico, but that's going to be interesting because I don't think we ever had an epithet for him before. I was told that Tiger Nico, because I don't remember it actually being said. Maybe it was by somebody, but I believe that's a community distinction. Is Tiger Nico, the last Nico? That's interesting. And he's here in his no eyebrows, Super Saiyan look, saying, Hachio is one of the nicer parts of the inside. You should see Rikuko Ward if you really want to lose faith in humanity. Damn, alright. Alright, so wait a minute. They're all meeting all together. This is kind of interesting because Gilbert, of course, killed his uncle. What was his name? Howard or something like that. Killed his uncle there. And took over, but he's both the son and clone of Edward. I'm assuming, once again, we don't know the details of that. Is this sort of a Boba Fett, sort of Jango Boba sort of idea? Or is he legitimately the son, but they also still did the Hoysung, still did the injection, still the same DNA? He's literally a copy, but it was done at the time? I don't know. Because even Gundam Seed brought that up with the coordinator's idea, is that the imperfections of a woman's body, even if you try to clone someone, cloning, there was a really cool storyline in Gundam Seed where it was like they tried to make an actual replica, a clone, a perfect clone of somebody, and it wasn't possible because no matter what you do to the fetus, it's close, but the woman's body, the woman during the 9 months of pregnancy, changes certain aspects, and there's nothing that science can do to fix that. There's still the woman, like the chromosomes and the woman stuff, and because it takes two to tango, it's still made that way. So it was actually an interesting plot line there. So we still don't know if son is a legitimate thing or if it's a Boba Fett thing. I'm going to assume a Boba Fett thing, but anyways. Rikuko, that place is a hellhole, says Jan. Pretty fitting a district whose name means 6 worms. Okay. Hey, Eddie, you look a lot younger now. Would you rather I said long time no see or nice to meet you? Oh, because, of course, Gilbert is Eddie. He's Edward Wu, so he's calling him Eddie. You look a lot younger now because, once again, this is the son. Would you rather I said long time no see or nice to meet you? He says, whichever you fancy. I'm a product of cloning and Hoyseng, after all. Okay, so wait a minute now. But he had dealings with Edward himself. Does that mean that all 5 clones? Like, did he call him every day? Like, hey, I took a shit at 2:31 in the morning, okay? And it was X long. It took me 4.5 minutes to get it out of my body. It's because I ate a fucking donair, a pizza, and exactly 6.5 chicken wings the night before from Panadas. Now, not pistachios, not remicosos, but Panadas. You got to make sure you get the right set. Like, how far does this shit go? Like, when do they stop? You know, because they all use the Hoysung technique, and of course I'm kidding about the shit journal that they would do. But as he pointed out, should I say long time no see or nice to meet you? Wouldn't this be Gilbert's actual first time meeting Tiger Nico? So if that's the case, then Tiger Nico, like, I don't mind the exchange. It is a good question, but it's funny that he says whichever you fancy. I'm a clone and everything after all. But yeah, but just because somebody knew Jango Fett doesn't mean somebody knows Boba Fett, you know? And you're taking the memories, not the day-to-day, you know what I mean? Like, when Edward died, Gilbert didn't all of a sudden magically get all his memories, you know? And unless they talked to each other every fucking day and said, okay, there's this, and this, like, I don't see how Hoysung works when you're passing down memories of someone who's lived 70 years, right? But you're not passing down, you're not really doing that unless, once again, as I said, do they have phone calls? Do they say, hey man, I met up with Tiger Nico, I took a shit, I fucking, I fucked 3 bitches. Like, are they telling all the clones all the time in constant communication? Like, these are just things I'm wondering. Tiger said, so you implanted the original's memory into a clone, huh? Then I guess you're pretty much him. Is that your spare with you? Gilbert says, I don't need a spare. He's just my right-hand man. Oh, so the last clone is breaking the chain, it seems. The last clone wants to break the chain. So you implanted the original's memories into a clone. I mean, but that's what Hui Sung means. The original's memory, from what we understand, is before Edward Wu. There's 5 of them that all went through the same Hui Sung. It's just that Edward was the better of them all. Apparently not Gilbert, and Gilbert was made at a different time. I don't know. It's a little confusing. So I'm the only loner, huh? Yan, is Luan here yet? Am I supposed to know that name? I don't know who Luhan is. I might be forgetting them. That might be me. That might be a new character, but I once again, I sometimes the translations and stuff, if it's spelt a little differently, I might not know who he's in the middle of a job. Okay, I don't think we know who this is. He said he'll fly over as soon as he's finished up. Then all of the Connector's top officers will be here in one place. So even Tiger Nico follows the Connector. Gilbert says, I'd like to introduce Willem to the Connector. Is that a problem? Oh, that shouldn't be a problem at all. But never mind, he should be back eventually. Alright, so let's see. Well, I'm thinking Gilbert Wu. He's the greatest masterpiece of the Westward faction, beyond the shadow of a doubt. I thought it was a shadow of a doubt, but beyond the shadow of a doubt, whatever. Let's see. So we're seeing the whole DNA thing. He's a clone of Edward. Okay, so he's confirmed to be a clone. He's just the younger clone, I guess. He was made later. The Westward faction's strongest fighter with improvements made to his DNA. And he inherited Edward's memories and techniques through Hui Sheng. His combat ability is even better than the original Edward. So I wonder if, like, the uncle, brother, the uncle, the brother, the son thing is just all a way of them keeping them, like, knowing which one's which. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just more meant so now this line is convincing me that he's just the last clone made. He was made younger, that's why he looks younger. He's the last clone made, sort of idea of this line. But apparently he's even better than Edward. So, all right, interesting. So are they going to try to make up for the fact that Edward got fucked? Because people rank Edward so high on power rankings, and I don't really know why. The dude lost. Like, sure, he was impressive as shit, but then he lost like a bitch. So I don't know. How do you power rank that? How do you power rank Ryan just coming into him and kicking the shit out of him just randomly? Like do you power rank it? Because if he killed him, then so I don't know. Like, the Edward thing is a sore spot, I believe, for a lot in the community. I think it was handled extremely poorly. So yeah, let's see. And yet Gilbert swears absolute fealty, is there on his knees, to the Connector. Then we have the Connector, the eyes, Oma and Ryuki hair. I see there more Ryuki hair. Is he really human, or is he ... question mark? Is he what? Is he what? Is he a god? Is he the martial arts god? I have no idea. So the Connector. All right. So basically, Willem is trying to understand why Gilbert of all people is still under this man, and why is Tiger Nico too? Let's see. And then the dark eyes. And then we cut over to the Connector, Shen Wulong, who's just drinking a beer with his double pupils like a box. Glug, 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 glug. All right. Honestly, I really like Shen. Forgetting it for a minute, all the bullshit with the worm and stuff, I really like Shen as a potential antagonist. He's very interesting. He's very Oma-like. And he's a very intriguing individual as a villain, because he hasn't really showed villainous tendencies, you know. So it's interesting. I'll be curious as his character goes on. This is good. Drinking a beer. I can't tell what it's supposed to be, but I don't know if it's a real brand or whatever. This is good. You know the good stuff, Joe. Is he calling Joji Joe? That's amazing. Yeah, okay. We have Jackie and Joe. Joe and Jackie. Beer buddies for life. Let's go. It's light and goes down easy. I do love a nice heavy beer, but this is fine too. See, he's more like my brother then. Like Shen likes a heavy, like sort of a non-commercial beer, a craft beer. You know, something a little heavier, like a red ale or a stout or something like that. But right now he's drinking something more like a light lager or something like that. Not necessarily a pale ale, but he's drinking like a lager. So he's probably going, no, but that's pretty crisp. It's light, but it's refreshing. It's nice, you know? And my brother's the same way. He'll drink all that shit. I don't drink dark beers, and I can drink red ales and stuff, but I'm kind of picky. I like to stick to my lagers. So now Joji, or Joe, that I'm going to call him from now on, says, no wonder we get along, Jackie. I'll appoint you as the head of... They have been drinking this whole... And they're still carrying around more beer. These dudes are bosses. No wonder we get along, Jackie. I'll appoint you as head of the Narashima Beer Association China branch. This is a great honor, spelt wrong, mind you. I would watch or read a spin-off manga of these two running a brewery together. I would absolutely watch a spin-off manga of them trying to make it big with their craft brewery. Yeah, okay, I'm there for that. This is so far a very good chapter. We already have Joe and Jackie being bros for life, beer bros for life. Let's go. And then we have Yamagohan. Koga's waiting up in the room just ahead. Good, I gotta encourage him like a good uncle should, says Joe. And then, Koga's confronting Ryuki, who is looking beat up, which he should, but alright. I'm asking you, what the hell were you thinking? About what? I don't understand you. Again, we're gonna do this. We're gonna rehash this one again. You really think you beat Adam like that? Technically speaking, I mean, it was... as upsetting as the victory, of course, because we don't like Ryuki as a character, he didn't actually... Yeah, did he go a little too far with his moves, but it's a dangerous fighting style. He didn't actually do anything wrong. It's not like he tried to follow after he did the rocket shows, after he did this, and he went down. He didn't exactly follow up and try to pound. You know, he didn't do when Oma had to stop him last time. Once he attacked him, put him in critical condition, he did back off. So even though you can argue, yeah, that was unsportsmanlike or whatever, at best, that's all you can argue is like, okay, you didn't necessarily have to do that, but I would argue Adam would have won had he not done that. So, and once again, let's not kid ourselves. This is not UFC. This is not boxing. This is Kengan. People use underhanded methods and die all the time. It's fights to the death. As much as they want to prevent it in Omega for some reason, I understand sort of why. But as much as they're trying to prevent it, remember, this is still the Kengan tournament. This is still a shadow organization. It's underground street fighting. It's not, it's not for the faint of heart. You have to put your life on the line. So, yeah, even in this Berserker Bowl, that is the case. Like I feel. So realistically, I don't think Ryuki actually did anything wrong. I call bullshit on his whole going limp mind control thing, and Adam didn't fucking knock his ass out. Ryuki should have been down and out. But other than that, I don't think he did anything necessarily worth this confrontation. Let's see, he said, you really think you beat Adam like that? Huh? But I won, right? I'm advancing to the semifinals and everything. Bullshit, that's not a real win in my books. Huh? I'm sorry, Koga, I don't see what you're so mad about. Okay, so he's saying bullshit, that's not a real win in my books. Now, once again, I'm not going to reiterate what I just said, but Koga's kind of naive. Koga is going to get gonna get chewed up and spit out if there's an Annihilation tournament. Because he's trying to fight with a level of honor in a den full of murderers. You know what I mean? It's like you're not fighting amongst Paddling Knights. You're fighting against thieves, cutthroats, and murderers. They might be martial artists, and they can hold their own code as much as they want. But none of them are against killing if that's what it takes to hold the W. So, Koga, your books don't matter. You know? Like, what you consider doesn't really matter that much. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Koga's arguing as though this is the UFC. Or like an actual sanctioned, there are rules, there's dirty fighting. There is no such thing as playing dirty in a Kengan match, okay? And the Berserker Bowl is Kengan. So, I don't know what, like, realistically, I hate to agree with Ryuki, but Koga's got no leg to stand on as far as I'm concerned. Ryuki said, do you really mean that? Yeah, what was wrong with it? Let's see, Shen said, looks like an argument. And Joe says, alright, punch first, ask questions later. I would like to see Joji, our main man, a.k.a. Joe, just walk up to Ryuki and pop. Just pop, pop. Alright. Settle down, kid. And Jaggy says, yeah, good thinking. Okay, so they both want to walk up to Ryuki and fucking... Yeah, alright. I like it. Let's see. And Alma's there listening. You know, Alma's there. Oh. And they're like, Alma. And he's like, no. He's here behind the corridor. He's listening to what's going on. You get it, don't you? Adam was holding back. Wait a minute. Adam was holding back. Okay. Adam was holding back. I don't think Adam was holding back. Like, that's a leap. That sounds like some headcanon shit to me. I would like... Adam, I think, straight up, if he was trying to kill the man, would probably have killed Ryuki before he had any chance to have his skull face evolution. Sure, but I don't know if I consider that holding back. That sounds like some, oh shit, my team lost. I gotta rationalize it. Koga said, and I don't mean he was going easy on you. Alright, what do you mean? He was fighting within the bounds of the match so you wouldn't die. But you had to go and do that. I mean, once again, if... Alright. To be fair, I sort of get what Koga's trying to say now, is that Adam could have walked over... If this was the Annihilation Tournament, Adam would have won, because he would have walked over, stomped on his fucking face, and said, winner. Right? He would have crushed his skull. He would have done something. But Adam was playing to the fact that they're trying not to kill anymore, right? And Ryuki did a move that potentially could have killed Adam, knowing that. So, okay, I sort of see, but once again, the Berserker Bowl are still Kengan, run by the Kengan Association. Death does not mean disqualification. So, you fight to win. Had Ryuki not done that, Adam probably would have won. So, yeah. Ryuki had to use his kill or be killed attitude or he wasn't going to win. So, technically speaking, I hate to be on Ryuki's side with this one, but And then Koga's losing his shit. It's like I'm looking at somebody I used to know. And it's even in quotes. God, that reminds me of that shitty-ass song. I can't stand that song. Where... sounds like they're singing through like a water main or something. Like somebody that I used to know. Do 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 do. Like somebody that I used to know. You know what, or whatever that fucking song is. I can't stand that song. So, yeah, okay, Koga. Now you're just spit and spit for the sake of spit and spit. Don't pretend you won when you weren't even fighting on the same field. I mean. To be fair, oh, forget it. This is all a waste of time. Alright, so Ryuki has a point. Koga has a small point, but realistically, no. Your book doesn't matter. Adam had the opportunity to go and beat this guy's face, put him in a hospital, chose not to, and Ryuki took advantage of that. So Adam fought with more honor than he probably should have against an opponent that didn't give a shit about honor. Fair enough. But it was up to Adam to know who he was fighting at the time. Right? So, unfortunately, hate to say it, but Koga, your points are falling flat. Ryuki! And Ryuki turns away. I'll be fighting to kill in the next match, too. Which is up against Koga, of course. The plot armor is there. If you want to win, you better fight on my field. Fight me on my field. Okay. So then he walks away. Yamagohan, I get why you're worried. Says Oma. Okay, almost there. But words aren't enough to stop Ryuki anymore. We have to trust Koga. Words aren't enough. So, will kicking his ass fucking change his mind? Setsuna's in the background. I don't think that'll do anything. I'm so disappointed in myself, says Yamagohan. If only I'd noticed the change in Ryuki sooner. No, what you guys should have done, and what Koga... Actually, it's not all... It is... I'll give 20% of blame to Yamagohan. I'll give 80% of the blame to Koga during the Purgatory after he killed Naiden. I've reiterated this point 1,000 times. The matches don't matter to you. You're not even in the tournament. You're not even an all-star. Go help your friend. Go make sure he's okay after being forced to murder somebody. Maybe go watch him. That's the only reason all this shit went down in the first place. Because you weren't there, Koga. Koga fucked up. Yamagohan fucked up. But I blame 80% at least on Koga. Because Yamagohan needed to stay there. He had obligations. Koga was just there as a literal fucking... Hey, I got a ticket to the fucking games. So, and then let's see. Oma. Oh, noticing... Wait a minute. Noticing Jackie. Have we met? And Joe there. How could you forget me, Tokita? It's me. Wait, did they actually meet? I don't remember them meeting, but okay, that's interesting. How could you forget me? It's me, Narashima Joji, Koga's uncle, remember? I'm not talking to you, Narashima. I miss when he used to call, as I said, I know that this was addressed, but I miss when he used to put people's names all together. He was like, I'm not talking to you, Narashima Joji. I miss that. He said, I'm talking to you. Have we met? And wait a minute, this is interesting. Because they did meet. They passed each other on the street. No, says Jackie. This is my first time talking to you. Oh, shit. Okay, plot thickens. This chapter's actually... This reaction is gonna be an hour long. Holy shit! Like everything has a theory or a question. That's what happens when it's not a chapter they fight. There's so much more to talk about. Joji, you can call me Joe. Want to try it out? I love it. So he gives him the nickname Joe. So Jackie gives Joji the nickname Joe. And so now he's going to start using it and be like, you can call me Joe. How about you call me Joe? I see. Sorry, I must have been mistaken. He's not even paying attention to him. There are a lot of lookalikes out there. Oh, I think the intermission's almost over, says Yamagohan. To be fair, I've met my doppelganger. I actually met my doppelganger in Mexico. He had much longer hair than I did, and he was slightly taller, but he was my doppelganger. I met him in Mexico when I was like 14, 15 in Mexico. So, yeah, it is a thing. You do meet them. And my brother, and I've seen my brothers. My brother and I met or saw from a distance his brothers. So, also saw a doppelganger of P. Diddy the other week. Clearly, like, if somebody walked up and said, "You're P. Diddy," like, I would say, yeah, that's totally P. Diddy. Anyways, let's see. Next page. Semifinals. Yeah, all right. So we're starting. So there's like, whatever, a couple hours break at best. Semifinals are already underway. It's time for the semifinals. So I do enjoy that. The members don't have time to recover because my bets also hinge on the fact that there has been accumulative damage to the characters, but I feel like it's too obvious. Sao Pang has racked up way more damage. Rihito's in top form. I feel like that's on purpose, and so is Ryuki with Koga on purpose. So it feels too cliche. It feels a little too much. So, as I said, my bets are my bets. And then let's go Sao Pang roaring. The first match of the semifinals is the Howling Fighting Spirit, Yorozuka Sao Pang versus the Superman Rihito. Let's go, Rihito. Yeah, I actually, once again, if Rihito beats Sao Pang, Rihito's winning the tournament. No question. If Sao Pang wins, we'll have to wait and see. And the second match, the Fist Eye Narashima Koga versus the Dragon King Gao Ryuki. How is he the Dragon? The Dragon King is way too cool an epithet for this son of a bitch. Alright, so the announcer is Katahara, of course, Saiki. All four are powerful fighters, but two will be eliminated. Hence the chapter title. Their chances are half and half. Who will be in and who will be out? And that's the end of the chapter. Okay, so maybe I could have reviewed this chapter. There was a lot to talk about, but yeah. So this reaction is probably like 40 minutes long, but yeah. Anyways, this was quite an interesting chapter. A lot to talk about. I brought up all my theories already and stuff. And for those of you who don't know, I've already made my votes, my predictions here on the champion bracket, which is I am betting for Sao Pang to beat Rihito. But once again, if Rihito does win and I lose that bet, then I will be picking Rihito to win the championship match. And I also picked Ryuki to beat Koga as an upset. People are expecting the plot armor. Once again, it's too convenient that all this plot armor shit is happening. These plot convenience fights, you know, it's destined to happen. None of that shit ever went down in the original Kengan, and I feel like here we're still going to get some of that. Even in the Purgatory tournament, there were some matchups that should have happened, but didn't. You know, it seems so obvious, but, you know, because of plot. But then always with Kengan, you have to expect the unexpected. So I feel like right here, once again, these are my two bests, or my bets. So yeah, so going into the next chapter, I assume we're going to start one of the... Jesus Christ. All right, let's end this fucking reaction. I'm stumbling over my own words. So yeah, I feel like next chapter we'll probably see the beginning. By the end of the chapter, we'll see the start of the first fight, which of course will be Rihito Sao Pang. But I feel like next chapter is going to be another info dump chapter. People getting settled, people talking about what's going on with Ryuki, people talking about this, people talking about that. Maybe have a meeting with Katahara himself, you know, Matsudo and stuff like that. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this Movember chapter reaction. I prefer to do reviews for this series, but as I said today, just not feeling it. Reading through the chapter and getting, you know, absorbed by it, just, you know, made me feel better. So I hope you guys. Apologies for such a long reaction, but it really, you know, took me away from all the other shit going on up here, and I was able to just have fun and focus on Kengan for a little bit, you know, rather than just reading the chapter on my own time and then reviewing it and stuff. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and place your bets for the second round of the Berserker Bowl down in the comments down below. Do you agree with my assessments? Do you think that Rihito might be the dark horse champion, or am I completely wrong and Sao Pang is going to, even though I bet on him, Sao Pang is going to win that fight and Ryuki is going to be handed his ass by Koga? Who knows? But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comment section down below, and we'll see you back here next time. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always, and we'll see you back here for chapter 184 of Kengan Omega. Looking forward to it, guys. See ya.